Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Zach, and we're gonna do a recap of the hell that we just watched.
Yeah, this is Kyle again, just recapping the game. We were Baltimore Ravens. We were at Chargers were at Baltimore Ravens, and this week didn't go how I expected. It was
Yeah,
definitely challenging to watch for sure. So yeah, we're just gonna recap a little bit of the game and what we should do moving forward. I mean, our record's still 4-2, but we definitely have a lot to recap before we get into those expectations.
yeah, it was just a surprising outcome. This was it was advertised as, oh, it should be flexed to the Sunday night game rather than the Steelers versus the backup of the Seahawks, Geno Smith, and then boom, it was just a blowout. It was not a duel between Lamar and Herbert. If
It
anything,
was
it
not.
was it was just what do you call it? They were just running over us basically the whole game.
What was interesting about this game is that we expected a duel between both quarterbacks, but both quarterbacks didn't really use their passing game that well.
Hmm.
I mean, Lamar Jackson always uses his legs for sure, but it wasn't necessarily a duel
Yeah.
at all. It wasn't necessarily a shootout of what people were expecting. I was kind of expecting a shootout, whether it was a win or a loss, but it was definitely not. It was a 34-6 victory for the Ravens. And I just expected more of maybe a 30-20 point game, despite the
Yeah.
win or loss.
Right. And Mark Andrews was just tearing us up, and yeah, basically they had a great game plan. What's interesting is the last time we played the Ravens, we had a great game plan for Lamar when he first was playing his rookie season and took over. Joe Flacco basically had so many DBs on the field while Lamar was out there, so he wouldn't be able to escape. And we were able to shut him down, but they kind of flipped the script on us.
I thought they actually did pretty well in the first half when I think about it. Like they were still making some plays. It was just difficult. Just I think what the Ravens did a great job is definitely taking out our weakness, which is our run defense, which
Yeah.
definitely needs some adjustments. Even though the Ravens have like injured players right now as their running backs, which was Gus Edwards and also Dobbins as well. They're able to use their veteran running backs between Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray, and we
Devonta
also had
Smith or Devonta
Devonta
Freeman.
Freeman out there. So they had some veteran running backs back there, but I think they just kept switching them all around, all three of them around. So they made sure they had some fresh legs right behind in the running back position.
Hmm. Yeah, they. It's crazy because they lost all their running backs before the season started, I think, and
Yeah, Gus
basically signed
Edwards
these
and
guys.
Dobbins.
Yeah, and they're all gone, and the Ravens just have the worst. I think the Ravens have the most injured players in the whole league, and it's just amazing how they're playing. I would say they're the best AFC team right now. I mean, you just saw the Bills and Titans game, and the Bills just lost to the Titans.
Yeah. So right now, I would say the Ravens are definitely up there. Their only loss came in week 1 against the Raiders. I honestly felt that they probably should have been undefeated right now,
Yeah,
but they always make it exciting. I think this is one of the only games where they actually dominated their win. But among all the games that they've played, it's been pretty exciting for their wins. I mean, a field goal kick by Justin Tucker a couple weeks back. As for, but just for this game in general, between the Ravens and the Chargers, what made it just difficult to watch, not only just the run defense, but I think I was just talking to you earlier, was where it was on the line. And I think that made the difference in the entire game. If you look at this game, Lamar Jackson was protected a lot more. Our defense could not stop the run, but they didn't really put any pressure on Lamar Jackson. He was definitely, as people have been saying online, he's just been like using that hit stick. He's like a cheat code on Madden. He
yeah,
just able to kind of wiggle his way out. He didn't really have any pressure. He was able to get that ball to Andrews once in a while and get that ball to Hollywood Brown
yeah,
a few times here and there. But As for Herbert, I was just watching that offensive line just struggle. And I was definitely confident early week one, as you guys have probably seen, but just seeing how much pressure they were putting, seeing Houston get up putting so much pressure against Storm Norton. It was just difficult to watch. Calais Campbell up there. It was Eckler there was just no run game. Eckler's a very talented running back, and he was only averaging 1.7, 1.8 yards per game in the rushing. So it was definitely challenging to watch the offense not get it going. Herbert, for me, looked like he was definitely uncomfortable in the pocket. They were putting so much pressure on him. I think he was just very antsy on making throws and throws out there, and just wasn't good. He didn't feel comfortable at all. And I think that made the entire game where I just think there was just so much pressure, especially I think between both tackles, even for our left tackle, our rookie left tackle. Let's go. He was definitely getting some pressure on that side as well, both the left and the right. But as you can see, they definitely had a very veteran defensive team between Calais Campbell. Houston was up there as well, and Queen was also doing well. So
They kept on targeting Marlon Humphrey, their cornerback. And
yeah.
I don't know why Herbert was targeting him a lot. He was just basically shutting down every pass that was going his way.
Yeah, the passing game didn't look great at all. I think that they just between the pressure and relying on Herbert and no run game going, like I think he just needed a little bit more of a run game, because I think that's what we needed. When we actually had when we played the Browns, Eckler had things going on. He was getting the run game, so the pressure wasn't necessarily on Herbert. But within this game, it was just difficult. I think he just had a lot more pressure on him, and I think that made it more challenging for Herbert to actually find some kind of momentum going or some kind of like ways to approach this game. So I just think that he was just difficult. And then you had the Ravens as well, just taking time out of possessions by running the ball.
Yep.
It was definitely in the Ravens' favor to take control of the clock. So
yeah, for the first time too, our fourth down conversions didn't work all day.
I don't know how he felt. I mean, I kind of get it. Our defense has been getting beat up. So, but he decided to go for a fourth down, I think around the 20-30 of our field. And it's like, if we don't get this play in, we're giving the ball to the Ravens 30 yards from the end zone. So that was definitely a questionable call. I do admit Staley is known to do this. It's just challenging because our offense hasn't been going. Maybe if we were doing pretty well in our offense and we felt a little bit more confident, but among our offense and defense, I just didn't think that it was more confident at all. I think it was just hit or miss at that point because we didn't have anything going. I think that Staley just wanted some kind of, boost for the offense just to get them a first down, get them a little bit more, have more of a morale change of strength early in that quarter, but it just didn't go through.
Yeah, it was just bad. I mean, our team was just clearly out of sync on every phase of the game. And part of me, I wasn't stressed out watching it compared to like before during the Rivers era.
Yeah.
And our former coach, Anthony Lynn. It was just so stressful to watch, but for some reason, this was tough to watch, but not as tough as those times for whatever reason. Because you barely saw Herbert have a bad game. It was last year against the Patriots when they got shut out, and this is basically our version of that this year. And at some point during the second half, I thought for sure we would be marching back into the game, but it just never happened.
I think there was still hope though.
The
first quarter was still 17-6. And unfortunately, we have to mention that our kicker did miss another extra point field goal. So there definitely could be changes among the kicking range, but it was still 17-6. So they were still down by a touchdown and a half. So there was still a little bit of hope within the game. It wasn't too out of its reach. But as the third quarter came by and the fourth quarter, and it wasn't going. I mean, turnover on downs, a touchdown, a field goal, and a touchdown on the third quarter. It was just hard to kind of come back, because within the third quarter, I think that's one of our worst quarters within the season. I felt as though we could have had a chance here, especially if we got a turnover on downs. Instead of getting that turnover and downs, we actually made it. It could have been a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's possible, but maybe within that third quarter, I think that they need to kind of make some readjustments when it comes to approaching this third quarter. Within the first quarter, and second quarter, they had, so the possessions of the Chargers was punt within the first quarter,
Yeah.
punt in the second quarter for the third one, a turnover on downs in the second quarter, interception, and at least one touchdown within its possessions, and then was the end of the half. But that is not good possession. Luckily, as I said before, what made us confident is that the game was still within reach, 17-6. But that, I think that's usually where they rely so much on their offenses within the first half of the game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But just kind of speechless. Like, I mean, I don't, in a way, I'm very interested. I'm not like, I am worried about the run game as far as our defense run game, but I'm just very interested to see how we bounce back from this.
Yeah.
Like, what will Staley do? You know, I'm sure he's rallied this team to 4-2 through a very tough schedule. I would say we had one of the top 3 toughest schedules, you know.
Yes.
We got to win with the Chiefs, Browns, Washington football team, the Raiders, and lost to the Cowboys in a questionable
But we beat
loss.
the Chiefs.
Yeah, we beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And we just lost to the Ravens, who are probably the best.
They could be the best in the AFC right now. What
Yeah.
I'm seeing is they're probably could be one of the best. It was probably between them and the Bills, but I would say the Ravens are definitely a tough team. I think they have a really good coaching staff among John Harbaugh, and I mean that's why he's been there for years, for a very long time. And just for me, I'm looking at the possessions right now. It was 5 punts in total within this game, 3 turnover on downs, and just 1 touchdown.
Wow.
Those possessions are not really good for this offense within this game. And yeah, they just could not get going. I think that they just did a great job on the Ravens side. I mean, I'm just giving them kudos because the passing game didn't do so well with the Ravens, but just switching between every single running back. I mean, Devonta Freeman, 9 carries, Lamar Jackson, 8 carries, Latavius Murray, 9, Le'Veon Bell, 8, and a few others that are also out there. They just did a great job putting the pressure of the running game. I think they coached them really well of hitting the Chargers at its weak point.
Yeah, our defense was lost whenever you saw a receiver motioning before the snap or a running back or whatever it was. Our defense was lost. We were like, what was going on? And we were just getting run over. So